For over 2 decades, we focused on one philosophy, the 10 life values, a system that helps us examine our lives, our vision, our leadership. Our products and our services are exclusively for men, all men. The ones who teach and mentor our kids, maintain our livestock and grow our food, make and repair our products, saves us from catastrophe, and protect our nation. The 10 life values are woven into every product and service we create. Because at the end of the day, our vision is to see all men from every community equipped with the appropriate processes and the necessary tools to be excellent fathers and the best version of themselves they can be.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what we're talking about today is why Black women take good men for granted. We know that it happens, and a lot of times we got the answer as to kind of why it happens, but I saw a clip that was really interesting to me of a Black woman speaking. I'm going to show you the clip. It's really short. It's got a little language in it, so please be aware of that. But at the same time, the narrative is that there aren't any good Black men. Every time Black women talk about relationships or talk about Black men, it's always in the most negative way that she can talk about it, in the most negative things that she can think of that could possibly happen in a relationship. No matter whether she's actually gone through that or not. Many times they have not gone through it. Just repeat things. Black women like to repeat things to each other and sort of plant seeds in each other's minds about who Black men are without even really knowing who Black men are, because the way that they interact with Black men is so transactional and so you know what I mean? They're not trying to get to know them. They're not trying to get to understand Black men at all. It's really just about, what can I get out of you? And, how can you serve my interests? And if you aren't able to serve my interests, well, then there's no reason for us to even interact at all. But I thought that this clip that I'm going to show you was really interesting, and I really wanted to bring some things to the forefront. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play it. Be aware once again that there is some language in this video. So if there are sensitive ears, you may want to be mindful of that. But here we go.
I'm upset, and I'm gonna let you bitches know that I'm upset. Y'all taking these wonderful, fine ass, educated, sexy ass, built ass men for granted. And then it's a bitch like me, who just want to be loved, who will love that man abundantly, with love and with pleasure. But you hoes at home won't even cook, won't even iron no clothes.
At least he respected his
baby. He respected his wife, and that's why I respect him. Because I didn't see the ring until after I seen the ring. But guess what? He never violated that woman. Given the chance, I'm going to be a good-ass wife. You hold slip, it's going to be my life.
Okay. So you were able to hear her say that. Now, apparently, judging from just what was in the clip, her encounter with a man that she apparently was attracted to and probably flirted with led her to make that little short clip. And you could hear her friend in the background like laughing, but she wasn't really laughing. It was LBVS. She meant what she said, because judging from the clip, she probably flirted with a man and realized, or he pointed out to her that he was married. Okay. And so when she said he respected his wife, that means he didn't give her any play. He did not return that flirting. He may or may not have been flattered by it, but he made it clear somehow, some way to her that it wasn't going to happen. Okay. Which actually made her respect him even more than she probably already did, or already was attracted to him. Okay. So the respect level came up for him as much as the attraction was for him. It probably made him more attractive to her, as a matter of fact. So she thought to talk to the women, the wives out here that don't want to be wives, because this woman looks like she's in her 30s. Okay. And she said, given the chance, I'll be a good wife, meaning she's not married. This is a woman that has likely never been married. She's never been married. Okay. Judging from the way that she's talking and what she's saying. And she was like, y'all don't want to cook. Y'all don't want to iron a shirt. Like, y'all don't want to do wifely duties. And she mentioned a word that you don't hear Black women say about Black men much. When they talk about Black men and relationships, she mentioned the word love like 3 or 4 times. She's like, I'll love him with pleasure. I do it with love. I'll love. I want to be loved. And I'll love him. Right? Now, I'm not going to go in on her, but it's apparent that the way she said it, me being a woman and me being able to infer the emotion, she has passed up a couple of good men in her life, as most Black women have. Okay, especially if she reaches her 30s and reaches her 40s, having never been married before and having never really had a serious relationship before, she can likely think back, okay, on the good men that slipped through her fingers. All right. How many good men have Black women fumbled the relationship with? If you in your 30s or 40s as a Black woman, you can think back. If you just want to be honest with yourself, you can think back on at least 2 men, maybe more, that were good men that wanted to give you the best life that they could give you. But how do you get to a point where you fumble that, especially in your youth, especially given the fact that Black women are always claiming how they want to be married and how Black men are the ones that don't want relationships, and they really want relationships, but the men aren't marrying and the fish not biting, and, you know, and all of this other type of stuff. Well, the folly for Black women actually begins with being talked into things like that hoe phase. And I've mentioned the hoe phase quite a bit over the past week, because this is a very dangerous and a very detrimental part of Black female culture that Black women, older Black women, like to cajole younger Black women and teenage girls into. And they like to position it as if this is a positive and healthy way to interact with men romantically, and that when the woman is ready, she'll be able to suddenly switch gears and be able to find the man that she really wants and that wants her and have this happy life and be married, as if marriage and relationships are in the hands of women and not men, which is completely a lie. Older Black women like to lie to younger Black women a lot about the nature of relationships and the nature of men and all of this sort of thing. Okay. So most of the time, most Black women as teenage girls are going to go into this whole phase, and she remains in that phase at least for some portion of her life. For some years, she usually do it. Because as a teenager, if you're 16, 17, 18, you don't have any foresight anyway. And so you think you're invincible anyway. And, you know, you don't have a sense of mortality or a sense of finality or anything like that. Most teenagers don't, because this is like the invincible portion of your life. Okay. You're young. You'll never be as young and beautiful and strong. And, you know what I'm saying? You'll never be the same again after these years pass you by. And so this is the time and I'm going to bring out a chart that we haven't seen in a while. This is a time of oversight. If you look at the chart, oversight means over or hyper, both more and less than, an unintentional or an intentional failure to notice or do something. If we take a look at the bottom next to oversight, it points down to falsehood, okay? That whole phase is a young woman in a state of falsehood and in a state of lawlessness, okay? In this state, she can't do anything but make mistake after mistake after mistake, regardless of the fact that she's not perceiving these things as mistakes. So the men that come to her during this time and portion of her life, there are going to be at least a few good, reputable men that cross her path and are willing to give her a good life, or as good of a life as he can afford to give her, okay? But she takes him for granted. She fumbles these relationships because, again, she's in the invincible portion of her life. You know, the late teens, the early 20s, you know, she's not counting the time. She's not looking at the time. She's just looking at the good time. And she's believing that men are disposable and that she's in control of when she gets married and to who she gets married to. All right. So when these men come along, what she really does with them, instead of recognizing the opportunity that presents itself in front of her like a lioness would, she does what a hyena does. And what do hyenas do with good men when they run into them? They abuse them. They abuse a man's 4 P's and they abuse his 4 T's. Okay? They abuse the men in this way. She abuses his time by wasting it. She abuses his toll by attempting to usurp him from it, or usurp it from him, okay? She abuses his problem solving by creating and maintaining a constant source of trouble for him. And finally, she abuses his protection by being a consistent threat to him, okay? This is how she runs the good guy off. This is how she runs that man off. The man that she's going to look back and be 37 and think back on that man and was like, man, I really squandered an opportunity. Because see, it's fun and it's funny until it's not. It's fun and it's funny until she hits the wall or she gets close to it. And she's counting the time. Now the biological clock is ticking even more. Now she's ready to settle down. Now she wants the protection of a man. She wants the provision of a man. She wants the problem solving of a man. She wants the procreation of a man. She wants and needs all of these things from a man, but she spent her whole youth denying this. And when men came along to give this to her, she took him for granted. So what she ends up doing is like this woman do. She go from the oversight to the hindsight. She start thinking about her past. Hindsight is the understanding of a situation or event only after it has happened or developed. So she started thinking about her past. She started thinking about the men that she passed up. She started thinking about the one that got away. She started thinking about this guy. This could have been a high school guy. This could have been a college guy. This was some guy in her youth that came by, crossed her path, and she and don't believe it that they don't know that these are good guys. They know that these are good guys. They pass them up not because they don't know that they're good guys, but because they think there's another sucker around the corner. That's why they pass them up, because she thinks it's going to be another one. Okay? She thinks most of the guys are like that and ready to fall at her feet, and that she'll be able to pick and choose later on. That's what she's doing. Okay. So don't really buy that naive stuff. They're not really naive. They're stupid, but naive. That's two different things. So she looks to the past, and if she's lucky and if she's honest, she looks to it in order to gain a true understanding of herself. This is actually done in conjunction with insight, and insight is the truth. Okay. If she conjoins hindsight with insight, she'll get to the truth, because this calls for self-reflection. All right. And if she does this properly, she'll be able to avoid making the same mistakes in the future if she is afforded an opportunity once again. Most of the time, women don't do this process, okay? So she remains in the same mindset at 37 as she do at 17. This is why a lot of times these older women, they still don't get it, no matter what kind of relationship history that they have. This is why it's important that a lioness avoid harmful actions like going into whole phases, etc. Listen to me, lionesses. Young lionesses, I need you to listen. These whole phases and stuff like that these older women are trying to give you the green light for, these are things that set you back for years. And it wastes your potential as a woman, and it squanders good relationships, all right? And you miss good men. You miss them because you're so busy trying to sow wild oats that you don't actually have, that you miss your actual opportunity, because there are good men out there. Don't believe that hype either. There are good black men out there, and good men are not only the ones that you log on to social media and you hear these women talking about high value men, he got to make 6-7 figures and all of that. No. Because it's more likely that you're going to get a regular old brother. And this man is going to be an average earning man, but he is going to be a good man. He is going to be a strong man, and he's going to have a strong desire to build a worthwhile life with a lioness. This is what you need. Most women are going to overlook this guy until it's too late, but a lioness cannot afford this mistake. Once a man is found to be a good man and a good match for you, you need to put yourself in a position to be chosen by this man. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention today. The other thing I want to bring to everybody's attention is the petition we have against Black Lives Matter Global Network and Foundation. We are almost at 8,500 signatures, and I would love to get to 9,000 signatures by next week if we can. So if you want to be a part of holding Black Lives Matter accountable for the more than $100 million theft and misappropriation of funds that they committed on the Black community, please go into the description box and click the link for the petition, sign it, share it, and contribute to it. Also, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.